The Victorinox Synergy was my choice for a Synergy Swiss Army knife from Victorinox. Of course, this Synergy series has the pocket clip, this really cool looking A-locks, and has this, instead of a can opener, package opener with the 2D Phillips. It also has the standard cap lifter and flathead driver along with this wire bender. And as I'm looking at this video today, you guys, I'm not going to talk about the wire bender much or the wire stripper. It does work. I actually made a video about stripping wire with it, which I never released because it was boring. However, it can strip wire. This locking blade is a very unique feature. And then what feels unique right now is the presence of this nail file, because not too many Swiss Army knives that seem to get a lot of play right now have that. However, this tool set is an absolute classic, and we're going to take a look at why that is. Now, please do take a look at Daphne Devy's video. She does a really good testing of especially this pocket clip and reviews the Synergy series. However, she's got a couple videos on that. However, I do want to say I think that a lot of people are getting excited that pocket lint is going to get in here. And while I'm sure that that may be true, I think that this pocket clip is going to hold it kind of up out of the bottom of the pocket. And I don't think that's going to be as big of a problem as it would be if it were just jangling around at the bottom of the pocket where the lint is more free. So I don't see this as a huge design flaw, even though I know it's kind of getting play like that. And it looks really, really cool. I don't know if I can show you on the video how nice this looks, but it has a very premium and elevated feel, which does go with that $70 plus price tag. Now, getting this without the scissors is actually cheaper than getting it with the scissors. Let's take a look at some other Swiss Army knives with a similar tool set. Now, I'm sure this is the first one that's going to come to mind for most people. Now, this is the 2020 edition, but it's a cadet. Now, we do have a can opener instead of the package opener. But other than that, this is the same tool set down to the nail file here, which is also the nail file with lines on it rather than being stippled or a diamond file or any other kind of file that's been used through the years. The blade, of course, does not lock as well, and so for some people that is going to be a no-go. However, it does have kind of that elevated, smooth A-locks look. Just to compare these two, though, you know, we've got two gorgeous blue A-lock Swiss Army knives, but definitely the more elevated feel comes from this Synergy. That's just, that style is great. It looks super good. Now, size-wise, though, you really are going to carry something much larger if you are carrying the Synergy as opposed to the Cadet here. It's quite a bit bigger. The package opener is a feature that I think a lot of people will like, but I think the locking blade and the pocket clip are what really set this one apart. But if you want to get something at a little bit lower cost with the same exact functionality and a cool look with a nice A-locks outsides, I really think that this Cadet could be a great choice for you. Now, of course, you can still get other options that are available formerly from Wenger and now from the Delamont series of knives. This is the Victorinox 10 wood. It has a nail file over here. You can see this is the different type of nail file that's stippled. I always feel like they could have used this real estate out here a little bit better and made this filing area larger. It looks a little bit funny compared to the regular Victorinox style to me, but nonetheless, this is a really, really good nail file that I think works fantastically. It has these wood scales, which give it a bit of an elevated look, and then that same tool set again. Interestingly, I was not able to find a Victorinox S10, which would have had a locking blade on it for this video, and that would have given this a very similar tool set. With the locking blade, it would have just lacked the package opener, but especially if it came in wood, it would have been similar. And we'll talk about that in a second. But of course, on the back, you actually get extra features. You get the ribbon curler, which some people call an awl or a reamer, and you get the wine bottle opener, which can be used to store different things, of course, as you can see in many places, and it's good for opening more than just wine. But this has a similar elevated feel with the wood scales, and I think could be a good choice if you really weren't married to the special features in here of the Victorinox Synergy. Now, along the same lines, let's take a look at a knife that actually has the same functionality exactly as what I just showed you, because it's the Celador handled version, but it has the toothpick and tweezers. This is the Victorinox Delamont that's a 10. And this is great. It's lovely. It is small. I think you are really not losing a lot in terms of size here, but of course without the pocket clip, you are losing something. Now, these two are the Delamont series, but we also have this guy. This is the Victorinox. I always want to call it the Traveler. It's not the Traveler, it's the Sportsman. The Sportsman is an amazing, amazing Swiss Army knife. I have a whole video about it. I love this nail file. Now, this is an old version that doesn't actually have the Celador scales, but it has this great file that doesn't have the lines on it. It's like the stippled file. You've got the back layer tools, toothpick, tweezers. It really is a fantastic choice. And it is, compared to this guy, a little bit shorter. It is, you know, it doesn't have a pocket clip. It is wider than the Synergy, even without the pocket clip. And the pocket clip on the Synergy makes the Synergy a little bit wider, but of course without a pocket clip this lacks that function. But the size is not much different because it's shorter, but a little bit thicker, but you do gain a lot of functionality in this compared to this guy. Now, what you lose, of course, is that locking blade, which people love. You lose the cool elevated style, you know, so if you really wanted the style on this, this is just the way to go. This is a fantastic tool for that. But you could actually elevate the Sportsman to have one more function if you just get the Night Eyes clip and put it on the back. Now, I never did this. I saw this so many times on YouTube, and I was like, you know, a pocket clip would be great to have, but I just think this looks silly. And now that I've done it, I still do think it looks silly, but I just couldn't wait for how long it was going to take Victorinox to send this to me, and I wanted to start trying out this tool set with a pocket clip right away, and so that is what we've got here. It looks silly, but honestly, this is highly functional. This, to me, is a better tool set than this because it has more stuff. For one thing, my personal favorite thing to carry in the corkscrew is a safety pin, so I have that in there. I've also added a pin into the scale here. I took it out of another Swiss Army knife because it doesn't come with that, but I've got a pin right in there, so there's a straight pin. And then, of course, you get the tweezers, which I absolutely love, the toothpick. I think this is a better tool set, and it is a not much bigger package, but honestly, the clip on the Night Eyes is a little bit looser than the clip on here. I went for a run with both of them, and neither of them came loose, but when I was changing afterwards, the one that fell out of my sweatpants pocket was the Night Eyes clip. Nonetheless, this is a really interesting option for people who don't care about that elevated look and don't mind the silly look of having the Night Eyes hip clip on their Swiss Army knife. But now this brings me to another point, that actually this tool set, the functions of this tool set, are fully replicated by what is kind of like everybody's favorite Swiss Army knife. I have it here in the scales from Sharp Knife Club, but this is the Victorinox Compact. And the Compact is a really, really nice tool because it has the hook on the back that adds in the nail file function. But now this guy is kind of a little overlooked option. This has all of the functions, but in a much smaller form factor. This is the Rally. And I really love the Rally because it is a great companion, which I hate to say that this Swiss Champ would ever need a companion, but this is a better nail file than the Swiss Champ's file. And this small screwdriver I find helpful sometimes on the end of the nail file, excuse me. And then this screwdriver is not replicated on the Swiss Champ in any way that can get down into like really recessed screws. The cap lifter on here totally replicates the cap lifter function. And so with this tiny little guy, you have all the function plus a toothpick and tweezers that are on here. A flathead, a Phillips that works on a lot of Phillips, a cap lifter, a knife, a nail file. It is really, really small and has more function. So I thought that it would actually deserve a little mention here today as well. So the Victorinox Synergy is the latest version, the most upgraded version, the most elevated version of all of these other tools right here. These are fantastic tool sets that have been successful for Victorinox over many years. I think that if you are looking for a pocket clip and a locking blade, you really can't go wrong, because this tool set has proven itself time and again, especially if you live in a place where you're really never going to use a can opener, then this is an even better choice for you. I want to point out that this is 93 millimeters, not 91, so the blade is a little bit longer, and you do get that slightly larger and tougher flathead and cap lifter as well. Take a look at Daphne Devi's video for some really great testing on that pocket clip especially, and or videos. And yeah, thank you very much for watching.